You ever have a day when the world spins on its axis and nobody in the room notices but you? That's how it started for me. Second, I'm just the janitor's daughter, blending into the background. The next, I'm standing in a boardroom full of power suits and million-dollar pens, pointing at a contract that could have sunk an entire empire. The clause, yeah, that one, the one nobody wanted to see if Jackson Hale signed his name to it. His whole company would take the fall. Not Vaughn's, not Clara's, his. You could have cut the tension with a butter knife. Jackson froze, pen hanging midair, eyebrows knitted together. Clara, his wife, blinked like she just stepped into a cold shower, and Derek Vaughn, Texas smile slick as oil, let out a little laugh, nervous, I could tell. "Excuse me," he asked, voice steady as a poker player's hand. But I wasn't backing down, not when I just read the fine print. Page 14, subparagraph C, line 3. The liability was flipped, all in legalese designed to lull you into a coma. I spelled it out, plain and simple, for everyone in the room. If anything goes wrong, sir, your company's holding the bag. Vaughn's people walk. The junior exec started sweating bullets, flipping pages, tapping tablets, doing anything but meeting my eyes. Somebody muttered that I shouldn't even be there, just the cleaning lady's kid, but you know what? Sometimes that's the only person who notices the dirt. 8 hours earlier, I was doing what I always did, running the night shift with my mom, wiping glass doors, emptying trash, keeping my head down. But that folder left open and the copier called to me. Not out of nosiness, more like instinct, the same kind that made me read business textbooks and watch documentaries with my grandpa while the other kids were on TikTok. I couldn't ignore it. When I saw how that contract was worded, something snapped. I asked my mom if she'd ever seen a company just hand it over like that. She told me to stay quiet, not mess with the boss's stuff if I wanted to keep food on the table. But I couldn't let it go. So there I was, face to face with the people who thought they ran the world, telling them they were about to make a colossal mistake. Security hauled me out, but not before Jackson and I locked eyes just for a second. He saw me, really saw me. And his pen never touched the paper. The next morning, the air in the lobby felt heavy. Mom and I were called downstairs and parked in the security office for over an hour. Nobody talking, nobody even offering us water. She wouldn't look at me. I apologized, told her I wasn't trying to embarrass anyone, but I'd seen something dangerous. She said she'd raised me to be brave, not reckless. I wanted to believe there was a difference, but at 16, you're still figuring out where the line is. HR finally came, clipboard in hand, to tell us Mom was placed on leave pending review. We left in silence. Out on the sidewalk, I looked back at the building once it had seemed full of promise. Now I just felt shut out. Upstairs, Jackson Hale sat alone, staring at that contract. He read it again and again. How did he miss it? Clara kept telling him it was standard, just another page in a stack of pages. But his trust was shaken, and trust like that is hard to get back. He started digging, pulling other contracts, comparing terms, tracing signatures. Every document told the same story. Vaughn's people never got their hands dirty, and every liability landed squarely in Jackson's lap. That afternoon, back at her tiny apartment, I nursed a mug of cocoa while my mom scrolled through job listings. She asked if I regretted it. I said I regretted losing faith in adults to do the right thing, but deep down, I didn't regret stepping up. That's when I got the email subject line. You saw it too? From a guy named Robert Barnes. Said he used to work for Hale Investments, said he knew exactly what I'd found, and offered to talk. The next day, Barnes sent over a flood of files, encrypted PDFs, flagged audits, memos. He confirmed what I suspected. This wasn't the first time Vaughn had buried a company with clever legal traps. In Houston, he'd done the same thing, only the target went under in 6 months, and Vaughn pocketed the cash. Barnes told me to look into Clara's offshore transfers. When I did, there was British Virgin Islands, Cayman, Zurich. This wasn't a fluke. Clara was in on it, and she'd been moving money for a while. Meanwhile, Jackson started to see his wife in a different light. He caught her meeting with Derek in a private bar, laughing, sharing a flash drive, her hand lingering on his wrist, way too intimate for business partners. That night, Jackson's bank flagged a suspicious internal transfer $2.5 million, right from the company's reserves. Blocked just in time. The noose was tightening, and it wasn't all from the outside. It only got messier from there. I tried to drop evidence at Barnes' apartment, but he was gone. Left me a note. They know I'm helping you. Don't come back. That was the first time I realized just how dangerous this was. But it wasn't just me anymore. Jackson met with Victoria Chan, a civil rights attorney, told her everything. She agreed to take the case: racketeering, conspiracy, all of it. When I showed up at Hale Tower with my bag of evidence, a junior staffer recognized me from late nights cleaning and walked me straight up to Jackson. He looked at me not as the janitor's kid, but as the person who kept him from signing away his life. "I owe you more than an apology," he said, and for once, I believed it. Victoria joined us, laying out the battle plan. The three of use an exec, a teenager, and a lawyer about to take on the system. That night, my mom and I sat on the fire escape, city lights twinkling below, and she told me to keep my head down. "They called again," she said, "threatened your school records, said they could make things disappear." I was scared, but I knew I couldn't stop. If people like us kept getting used as cover, nothing would ever change. Jackson's next move was public. At the company gala, he took the stage and admitted everything: his mistakes, the company's near downfall, and the courage of a 16-year-old girl who saved it all. Cameras flashed. Clara froze by the champagne, and you could see the cracks spreading. It was only a matter of time before the dam burst. The fallout was brutal. Maya Williams became a headline. School was chaos. Half the kids treated me like a hero, half like I betrayed the tribe. I got threats, notes in my locker: "We know where you live." Victoria secured protection orders for us. Jackson went to the press, told the whole city that a teenager had saved his company. I didn't feel like a symbol, but everyone else seemed to. Then the courtroom war started. Vaughn and Clara tried every trick in the book: intimidation, PR spin, even blackmail. But the evidence piled up. Victoria called me to the stand. I told the truth, simple as that. Just because I clean your floors doesn't mean I don't see the dirt. The jury really listened. When Jackson testified, he said sometimes the people at the bottom see the cracks before anyone else. The verdict came down hard: guilty on all counts. Vaughn and Clara, 10 years in federal prison, no parole for 7. Justice, sure, but the kind that leaves scars. Jackson restructured the company, wiped every trace of Clara from the records, froze Vaughn's assets, and set up a scholarship in my name for kids who see what others miss. Did it end with a bow? Not quite. Clara sat in her cell. Empire crumbled, replaying my words over and over. Jackson rebuilt from the ashes, this time listening to the ones nobody saw coming. As for me, I got my acceptance letter to Columbia, but the Real win was walking into that building I used to clean head high, knowing I changed something for good. So, tell me, does it really matter where you start? Or is it about seeing what nobody else wants to see and being stubborn enough not to look away? That's what I want to know. What do you think? Did justice win out? Or is this just another round in the world's oldest fight? Let's hear it in the comments.